In this video, I'm just going to show you how I usually work with pictures, because I like to take pictures and I like to try to find the best ones and sometimes do some adjustments. But I'm not a professional. If I want to get a professional job done, I go to a professional designer, art designer, and make that person make it for me. But I know enough to have fun with my pictures and to be able to adjust them. So in this video, I just want to show you a little bit how I work, how I think, and what I'm looking for, what I'm playing with. And okay, if you have the time, please come along. And first, I'll just open up the pictures I took. These are from the last day of December 2009, and some are from January 1st, 2010. And I like to bring the camera when I'm out walking. And what we see right now is the salt water, because I live by the fjord. And we have salt water, and when it's very cold, like it has been around Christmas 2009, you know, it just breaks up so beautiful. If we zoom in just on this, it's almost like a flower, icy flower. It's beautiful. And we live south in Norway. That means we have sun all year round. Up in northern Norway, it's gone right now. But by us, it's very low, and that gives a very nice light. So if you look at this, it's just a perfect sculpture made from nature. Maybe I want to do something with this. I don't know. I can cut it out if I like. I can go to the next picture. And here again, you can see ice is breaking up around a rock. It looks almost like a fish. And here you have the head, and then you have the mouth of the fish. If you look down here, you can see it's almost like a bird. You have the wing here, and it seems like it's diving into the sea. But it's only ice, no dead bird. And here we have the eyes, put a cap, a hat on a stone. It looks like a bald man. Nice picture. Maybe this is one of my favorites, because here we have the bird. It's like the head is going under the water, and you have the right wing, and then you have the left wing. Or you can look at it a different way and say, here's the beacon, here's the head, here's the throat. And it's just turning around, looking behind. What's going on here? What's going on with these rocks, this ice? So it's almost like a frozen bird. So you see again the beacon. Could imagine an eye here, and then you see comes down to the body. But maybe the diving bird is best. That means I can give it a title. Again, I can make a selection and make a composition where I keep this part of the picture, because this is the interesting part. I'll move on a little bit and see if I have other alternatives. Could have been a nice picture, but you see here, it's movement, and my camera didn't really capture the movement good enough, so it's blurry. Could have been nice, but no, don't like it. Don't like it. Go to the next one. Here we have, this is fresh water. When we're walking around in some of the parks in the Stavanger area, we have fresh water, and here we have open water where all the birds stay, and people come and feed them every day, and we have the frozen trees behind. It's a very nice picture. Maybe I can just keep it like this. Here again, we have some seagulls and a lot of ducks, and it looks very crowded, more chaotic. I really don't want to do anything but this one. Then, here we have a nice picture. I like this bird. We see the seagull's wings going down. They're reflected in the sea. And on the left side here, you can see here is something going on. Maybe it's a bird that's just diving. So all that's left here is just the water. So what I can try to do with this picture is to move this part up here and maybe make the picture more interesting in that way. That can be a possibility. Let's see if I have any more. I think this is the last one. Yes, Happy New Year 2009. That's a year ago. Okay, I found some pictures. So what I can do now is to open up the one I want to work with. And let's say this is the picture. I can see down here that's in the image, the name is 2216. It's from my camera, 2216. Right now it's saved onto my desktop with the other picture we just looked at. So it's easy to find, 2216. And you can see on the size, it's almost 3,500 pixels wide. So it's a huge picture. That means I can cut out sections of it and still have very good quality. I just close this. Remember 2216. And there we have Pixlr already. go to my desktop, and then we have the pictures, 2216. 2216, there it is. Just double click it, and it opens up. And as you remember, we have to go to View and Show All, and here's my picture. So the first thing I'm going to do now is to cut this out and see if I'm able to paste it in here. Maybe we go to the cloning tool and just move it, copy it in here, and afterwards we make a selection. If I chose to cut this out, let's say I do that. I'll go to the tool, marquee tool, click around here like this, and I can go to the pick and move tool, and I can just move it up here. But then you see it's a different color, so this is not a good way to do it. I just go to the edit button and undo once more. Again, I go to the toolbox. This time I take the clone stamp tool, left click it, then I move my cursor down here to the water, and I hold down my control key, and I go over to the left side here, hold down the control. You can see now it's shifted, left click, and this is where I will start copying this part, and I'm going to start to paste it up here somewhere, maybe over this bird, or maybe in front of it. I'll see what I can do. But first you can see that my cursor, the copying tool, it's not too big, so I can go up, move up here, and maybe I want to have it a little bit more blurred, so it's not that strong, not that hard. So maybe this is better. And the size, I think I'll try C60. That looks pretty good. When I hold it outside here, I can see how big the selection will be. Then I go up here to the opacity, and I want to be a bit soft with this. So I move down to, let's say, around 60. And now let's try to see. When I left click now and start dragging, it will start on this part of the image. So I just left click, hold down, and here you can see water spray. If you look down on the left side of my picture, you can see what I am copying, because that gives me very good control. You can see, what do I want to copy? I want to copy this water spray here. It almost looks like ice, but it's not. And when I do like this, there you can see there's a line, and I've been holding down the left key on my mouse all the way, so that means when I go to edit, I can undo it. And I might as well do that. It was not a good thing. It didn't work. I didn't like it. So I am experimenting. I'm trying out and see if I can do some changes. What I then can do is try to copy the bird down here instead, and see if I'll be able to do that. This is a very big picture. As you can see down here, it's almost 3,500 pixels. That means if I zoom in, go like this, hold down the space bar, and then you see my hand tool comes up. I can left click and drag, and I can find the seagull. Here it is. And now I can use the lasso tool and see if I can catch this. So I will try to go around it. And I have to be patient. Hold down all the way, all the time. And in a sec, when I've done this, I can copy it and paste it into the same picture and move it around and see if I can find a better place to have it. And now you see I'm almost there, coming up to the corner, just going around here, and then I hit where I started. And I've made a selection. Then I will zoom out so I can see more of the picture, and I can go to edit. I can copy it, and I can edit and paste it. Then I will have a new section here, or I can just move what I just cut out. I go to the move tool, and I move it down here and see if it can be positioned here instead. But again, you see, it looks very silly. It was a good idea, maybe, but I'm not able to actually do this. I could put it over here, but it just looks stupid. If we just zoom in and I hold down the space, you see the hand tool, left click. What is this? This is nothing. I don't want to keep this. I just move the navigator over here, all these toolbars over here, the layers panel, the history panel, and I just hit delete. Do you want to save changes? No. And back to scratch. I think I'll go back to my desktop and find my pictures. They were down here, all my pictures. And there was this sculpture I was interested in. I think this was the one. I just left click it, double click it, and you see it's very large, so I can go up here and move here in and out. And here we have it. So, okay, what do I do? First of all, I want to move a little bit closer. And to get some idea of how I can make a selection, cut out a selection of this picture to make a composition, I can again go to the space bar, just hold it down, my hand symbol comes up, then I left click on the mouse and I can start to move this picture around and see how can I make a good composition out of this. This is definitely not good because if I, let's say this is a bird and it's looking this way, there's so much empty space there because the interest is that way. But if it's a diving bird, I want to have more water underneath it. So if you look like this, maybe this is better because now it's diving into the sea. So I'm getting closer to maybe what can be a good composition. I can let go of the space bar and I can move in just a little bit more. I can go here and do it very gradually, carefully if I go like this, because sometimes it's hard to make just small adjustments. Again, hold down my space bar, I left click and drag and move the picture around. And I think this is better. There's a point of interest here, and then we have the diving bird, and there's something behind it. Almost looks like an iceberg that's drifting in the open sea. But you see, it's all frozen, all glass. But I think this is maybe the best composition I can find. So I just let go of the space bar, go up to the tools box, the marquee tool, and I just left click up in the left corner, hold down and drag, and then I make my selection. Let go, edit, and I copy it, file, new, and then you have create image from clipboard. I do that, okay, and view, show all, and here you have it. I take the other one, the original, away. I don't want to keep that. And I'm left with my selection. There's a very bright spot up here and some bright spot up here. And this one takes interest. The eyes always follow, not the eyes on the floor, but my eyes, the eyes I used to look with, to view with. They tend to go to where the lighter spot is in the picture. So I can try to soften this, darken it just a little bit. And there are several ways to do this. Maybe the easiest way is to go to the brush. And then you have the brush tool. It seems to be very big right now. And if I go to the opacity and just reduce it maybe down to approximately 30. And I will now try to diffuse. So look what's going on now. If I then left click here, oh, it looks like somebody's been throwing sand over it. I didn't like that. So again, I have to go to the edit. I click 3 times. So I will just have to take it away. Edit, undo. Oh, I clicked more than 3 times. Now it's back to basic. But you see, right now I have selected the color black. So what I can do is just click this one and I can choose a color from the color picker. But when I move my cursor outside, you see I get this little funny thing that is a color picker. So if I choose maybe this color here, just left click it, and then you see there is the color. So now I've actually chosen a color that is already in the picture. So I click OK, and that is now my new color. You can see it here. And if I now want to diffuse this part, I've already chosen that, but it was too big. I had to reduce the size, and I reduce it from 60 maybe down to around 20. And you see now it's not so big. And I have to make it more solid. And that was the opacity. I think I'll move up to, okay, let's say around 50. Then again, I just hold over here, left click, and you see when I click like this now, I'm just filling in the color. It looks a little bit dead, but I'll take care of that in a second. But I'm just, you see, toning it down so it doesn't get that attention anymore. But it looks very dead now, and because you know what I've done, you will see this immediately. But again, I can go to the color picker, like this, and this time I choose a brighter color, like this, and you see it changed here. I go to my brush tool, and I lighten up some of these parts. It doesn't look the same anymore. It doesn't look like one gray area. Now it's a little bit more coloration into it. Again, I can go to my color picker, and maybe I want just a little bit of this gray, deeper gray color. Go to my brush, left click a little bit, and just make a little bit more variation. So when I scroll out, scroll in, see, it doesn't look too bad. But there is something that isn't too good about that part up there. What can that be? Well, it's because the both the brush and especially the opacity, it gives small dots on the outskirts of the center. So if I just move this up to almost 100%, let's say 90%, and then again I go to my color picker, take this color, go to my brush, and now hold down. You see, it takes away these small dots that we could see earlier. Changing the form just a little bit doesn't really matter. I can go to my color picker. I click out here in the blue color, the blue eyes, go back to my brush, go like this, and just change it a little bit. Difficult. It's fun to do this. So, okay. I think I've done it. I think I can keep it like this. Okay, I'm done. When we are working with pictures, there are a lot of facts, a lot of basic knowledge. But after all, there are a lot more feelings, and feelings, that is what we need when we work with pictures, because we want to enhance impressions we've had and share them with others by showing other people our pictures.